Doing a little change up and I will not be presenting the packet. Most of the commissioners should have their packet, hopefully. And our packet is available on our website if you need it.
Okay, I'm about to open our meeting. School Facilities Business Meeting, May 14th, 2025, 9 a.m. We'll start off with introductions of the commission, any staff and any public that want to be introduced. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
Oh,
Shelby, could you guys introduce yourselves, please?
Mr. Chairman, Shelby Carlson, School Facilities Division Administrator.
John Rexis, Construction Management Supervisor.
Karen Moon, construction project manager, school facilities.
Travis Hoff, Public Information Officer.
Shelley Lovato, Office Manager and Executive Assistant to the Director and the Commission.
Laura Anderson, Operations and Finance Administrator.
And Del McComey, Director of State Construction Department.
Bruce Thorin, Vice Chair for the commission.
Tom Ferens, Commissioner from Evanston.
Jackie Van Mark, Goshen County.
Joni Kashelhofer, Newcastle.
Scott Thayer, Albany, Carbon, and Sweetwater counties.
Travis Conklin, I represent the districts in the Bighorn Basin.
Trent
Jack
Carroll,
Carter.
Department of Education.
Grant.
I'm here for Superintendent Dagenfelder.
Jack Tarter, Johnson County, Campbell County. Okay, we have a lot to cover today. I'm going to try to keep the meeting moving fairly well. I did grant, under the public comments, I made an exception for Campbell County to have 10 minutes of time to talk to us today. So I advise everybody that in advance. First item we have is the approval of the agenda.
Chairman Carter, would you like me to do roll call? I know we already announced all the commissioners, but I'm happy to do roll call if you'd like.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
I meant to do both at once.
Commissioner Conklin,
Present.
Commissioner Ferens,
Present.
Commissioner Kashelhofer,
Present.
Commissioner Thayer,
Present.
Commissioner Thorne,
Present.
Commissioner Van Mark,
Here.
Trent Carroll for Superintendent Dagenfelder,
Present.
Chairman Carter.
Present.
Thank you, Chairman.
Next item on the agenda is approving the agenda for today's meeting. I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the agenda.
I need a second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? Any additions or corrections to the agenda? Since you're ready to approve the agenda as published, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Same sign. Seeing none, we've approved the agenda. Now we'll go into our information items. I will turn that over to the division.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Our first item is to give you an update on our active capital construction projects. And so there in your packet behind tab 8, you'll find a small table. So just a quick update on these projects. First of all of these have completed Mercers. So if they have an ongoing Mercer, you'll find them on the Mercer tab that we will be discussing here in just a little bit. And projects that are under warranty or in the closeout process, I have not included on this update. So the Nude Slade Elementary, we're at 99% complete on that. The ongoing work is to get air conditioning into that facility. And we're actively working on that project. Old Slade Elementary demolition, we opened bids last week. We received 4 bids, and those bids are currently under review. New Little Powder K8 construction is about 70% complete. Our contractor on that is Van Ewing, and the work is proceeding well. Little Powder demo, obviously nothing will start with that until such time as the new facility is complete. Campbell County New Transportation Building, we are in the design process with Plan 1, and that received its construction funding during the 25-26 supplemental budget. Old Transportation Building will be demoed at the completion of the construction of the new facility. New Campbell County High School, we're working on design contract language. Design consultant that was selected through the proposal process was Plan 1 Architects. And then the Old Campbell County High School again won't be demoed until we move forward with the new high school. The design for that and the testing for asbestos is all included in Plan 1's design contract that we're working on currently. Riverton High School Auditorium, we're at about 85% complete. Contractor on that is Sampson. It is a CMAR contract. Substantial completion is projected for May of 2025, so this month. The new 5-6 elementary school in Laramie 1, the design is ongoing. Actually, we're working on the design and selecting our design consultant. The proposals for that are due on May 20th. Funding for this is in the $95 million, which was the 2023 appropriation. The new ARP Elementary School, Stasis Design has been selected to do the design on that school. They are actively working on the design. That got a 2025-2026 biennial budget, and then we have topped that one out with the $95 million. As we were a little bit short, the size on that facility was increased by 100 students over what the budget ask was prepared for, and so we did come up a little bit short and have borrowed some funding also out of the $95 million to make that project whole. Rock Springs High School, they're in the process of procuring a design consultant. It got its funding 25-26 biennial budget. Teton New Transportation Facility, that is out for bids as we speak. Those bids are to be opened on May 21st. Doobie Mulder is our design consultant there. Demo of the old bus barn, the design of that is included in the facility design. The work will be completed after the construction of the new facility. Tinsley K-12, about 95% complete. The school district did take occupancy of the new building in January of 25. Included in that is the Tinsley K-12 demolition of the old facility. As the abatement contractor went to work, it was discovered that we had some other asbestos present in that building that hadn't been identified in the original investigation. And so we had to put that project on hold, have somebody come in and do further investigation on the presence of asbestos. And that has slowed us down. And at this point, we're in negotiations on how that project's going to move forward as that abatement contracts has had to increase in size. So you'll be hearing from us in the future on that, likely going to need some additional funding to make that project whole. So those are the active projects that I had listed. Any questions from any of the commissioners?
Any questions, commissioners? Okay, item B.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is to give the commission an update on the status of the inflationary funds that were appropriated in 2023. The amount was $20,337,956. When that appropriation was made, it was specified to a certain list of projects. And you'll find that list of projects in this table. You haven't seen a lot, there hadn't been any change actually in the dollar figure since the last time we presented this. Just an update on some of these items that still show as white. If they're green, they've already been let to bid and either didn't require any inflationary funds, or you'll see the use of funds shown there in the right-hand column. Both Jackson Elementary School and Fremont 25, and then at the bottom of page 5, Fremont Rendezvous Elementary School. Those two projects are just in holding mode right now since we have a Mercer going on that includes both of those facilities. And so those two projects just on hold, so we know how we're moving forward before they go ahead and proceed with that work. So that's the status of those. Purchased land for a future school in Albany 1. No activity on that right now. The district has the funding, just no plans at this time to purchase property. The Campbell 1 new transportation building, this was for design. I should have got this one highlighted green. I failed to do that, so my apologies for that. But our design is procured, and it did come in under what was budgeted, and there were no inflationary funds needed to make that project whole. We move on to page 6. You'll see all the rest of those projects there are bid out and awarded. You look down there at the bottom, you'll see a figure of $13,396,013.68 is the remaining amount we have in this budget. I might note that if you go to page 7 and we're referencing the 2 session laws, you'll see item D there in the middle of the page. And it talks about the project the money was appropriated for. It's got that figure of $13,128,449. That is not in any way related to the $13,396,000 we have on page 6. Flip on to page 7. There at the bottom, you'll see the new 2025 session. This past session, the legislature did approve us to keep that $13.4 million. Looks like I got a typo there in the number. And it will not revert as was originally set up by the 2023 session law. And it can be reappropriated to the School Facilities Commission to supplement previous appropriations for inflationary costs associated with projects approved by the commission and funded by the legislature. So we can now use this funding for projects going from here forward if they are needed for inflation. And so that was a good change. We've got up to 13.4 million. And obviously those 2 Riverton projects are still on the docket. If they need funding, they're still eligible to tap into this bucket. So as we move forward, if there's any need to use some of these inflationary funds, they will come before the commission for approval to tap into funds in this inflationary funding account. With that, are there any questions from the commission?
Any questions? Any questions? Items, tab C.
All right, Mr. Chairman, here's an update on the most cost-effective remedy studies and where we are currently at. Of the total of 27 that are listed on this sheet, 10 of those are complete. 6 of those were all wrapped up into the one Mercer report for Laramie 1 elementary schools. So we still have 17 left that we're actively working on. I want to point out, I'm going to look in the status column, the ones that I'm anticipating you will be seeing soon. They're the Carbon 1, Rollins Elementary School. I'm anticipating that that one will be before you for approval at our July 25 meeting. Laramie 1 East High School, I actually just got the draft report on that. It should go before the Board of Trustees on June 2nd, and anticipating it to come before the commission for approval on this coming June 25 meeting. The two Crook projects, Moorcroft High School and the Sundance Bus Maintenance Building, I'm anticipating those also will come before the commission this coming June. We move on down to Teton 1, Jackson Hole High School. That one has meeting on some of the items we worked on after our last meeting with the district set for May 27th. And then we will hopefully move forward towards completion of that Mercer. I anticipate you'll see it this summer. I just don't know which month we'll have it ready for you, but I do believe you'll see that this summer. And then the last two I want to mention are Fremont 25, Rendezvous Elementary, and the Frontier Academy. Those are being performed by Stasis Design, and they're moving very well too. And I anticipate that you will see those before the end of the summer. The other thing I wanted to let the commission know is that we are going to go back out on the street with a request for proposals. You know, what we're finding is our consultants are busy as well. They really are only able to focus seriously on one of these at a time once they get into that analysis process. So, you know, we're moving them as quickly as we can, but we're going to go back out on the street and see if we could maybe solicit some more consultants to help us. We did enter into contract with all 4 consultants that put in proposals our first time around. The current contracts go up through October 5th of this coming year, or this year, and we will look to extend those agreements for at least a year, and then we'll have them extend to the completion of any active task force or task orders they have ongoing at that time. So that's where we are at Mercer's and kind of what the road ahead looks like for us. We do have at least 7 Mercers sitting out there to work on that I just haven't put out to consultant yet until we get some of these completed so that they don't just sit and wait. So that's where we're at. I take any questions on the Mercer studies. Commission has
questions? Any questions? Okay, thank you. Item D, tab D.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is Dylan Comey, Director for the State Construction Department. Going to give the commission an update on the 95 million appropriation from 2023. There was an appropriation actually of 100 million, 5 million of that was to use for the Mercer studies that are ongoing at this point in time. And then additionally, the 95 million was prioritized for school buildings that had capacity needs or facility condition assessments that were completed in 2023. So the list has changed a little bit from when we first started the presentation with the commission. It's getting a little more refined, and as you can see down at the very bottom under the total, we appear at this point in time to have the 95 million all allocated. One of the big changes there was the addition of the unanticipated 6%. That had not shown up in the past. And when we were looking at these projects, obviously, if they're coming out of this list for funding, we needed to have that 6% unanticipated. So we basically took 6% of the 95 million or the 5.7 million that was shown there. The projects, as Shelby mentioned a little bit earlier, so the very first project, Albany One, Central Kitchen, that's a Mercer that's being completed by FEA, and again, that's one that we hope to have the commission here fairly soon. The next is the Campbell One, Conestoga Elementary renovation. That was for design only. Obviously, we haven't gone out and done the design yet. That's Mercer is yet to be completed. MGT is assigned to that, and once the Jackson project is done, MGT will concentrate on Campbell One, the Conestoga. They are, however, they have started that work on that project, and they're working on it kind of side by side, but their primary focus again is Jackson. Once that's completed, then they'll their next focus will be this Conestoga. Campbell One, the transportation facility, Shelby already talked about that. That was for design only, and that project went out for design already, and that was assigned to Plan One. Goshen Elementary, that's a renovation, design only. Again, I think that is Plan One, I believe. Not sure, but I think that's correct. And then Laramie One, new construction. This is for the 5-6 elementary, 54,859,000 coming out of this pot for that particular project. And again, Shelby noted that I think it's next Tuesday. There was 4 consultants that were selected for interviews next Tuesday, so we'll know who we'll have for the design on that particular project. Laramie One, replacement of our elementary. Again, that one is done and selected. Stasis got that particular project. Niobrara One, design only for renovation of their ag building. That one is a condition, and it's set for Plan One is the consultant to do the Mercer on that project. We talked about Teton One previously. Again, this is for their transportation facility. And so MGT is the consultant on that. And as Shelby mentioned, Tuesday, the 27th, we'll be meeting back to go over some of the updates as well as some of the findings that came out of requests from the last meeting with Teton. Laramie, or with Jackson, excuse me. And then Laramie 2, excuse me, that's their transportation facility, not their high school. So that one again, change my notes here, is out for bid next week, and so hopefully we'll have a price on that. Laramie 2,
design and build, right?
What's that?
The Laramie 2, isn't that a design and build one? The 4 million?
Yes, well, Laramie 2 at Pine Bluffs, that is an addition to the building. It's based on capacity needs. That's a newer elementary, based on kind of the configuration and the layout of that for the capacity that add on to one of the wings, and it's a 2-story building. So we're anticipating probably 4 classrooms on the end of that building at Pine Bluffs.
Okay.
And then, as I mentioned previously, 6% unanticipated. So it looks like at this point in time, we pretty well got the funding allocated for that 95 million. Some of those are yet to be seen what the cost will be, but drew that number up, and we'll certainly do that as things move forward in the future. So.
Any questions?
Any questions?
McCombie. Any questions? Okay, seeing you're none, we'll move to tab E. Director McCombie.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Believe it or not, we're started on the budget process already. Just finished with the legislature on the budget process, but we're back again working on that. As you know, Mr. Chairman, in June, we'll be bringing kind of a straw budget for the commission to review and give us some feedback on. And then in July, the commission will be adopting its next budget. And so I just kind of want to run down through our thoughts at this point. We don't have any dollar figures per se, but I would like as much feedback as possible from the commission in the discussion today to kind of give us some insight as to maybe priorities from the commission. Is there anything perhaps we're missing? And then, you know, kind of some thoughts on where we'll end up for the June meeting, where we will try and put some numbers to the budget process. So as I work down through this, I'll give you kind of where we were sitting for the previous budget a couple of years ago in dollars. And then some of those I think will see change simply because of inflation and so forth. Let's just go ahead and start off on the operations budget itself. This is the standard budget for the agency and pays for the paper, pens, the salaries for the employees, those sort of things, our travel budgets, etc. And so 2 years ago, that was a $6.9 million budget ask. A couple of things that we're looking at probably is going to increase the cost there. One of those is dealing with travel. Our travel budget, I think, is, Mr. Chairman, you're aware, is really tight at this point in time. And I think part of that is due to the extra travel that we've been doing in regard to all the Mercer studies that are going on. We also will have a number of projects compared to previous 4 or 5 biennium. Construction jobs going, which will require more travel from our project manager. So we're running some reviews on that right now. So I think you'll see an increase in the travel budget. We're also going to ask for 2 additional personnel. One being a backup for JJ's position. So we're looking for a financial and somebody that can also is a little bit of an IT person to help with the workload that JJ has at this point in time. JJ was an original employee of the state school facilities, and when we merged, he took on the additional duties of really a lot of the budget type of things that he was doing on the school side. We mirrored on the state side with 14 other state agencies. Additionally, there's an added workload from the way we're currently using the facility condition assessment for all the school buildings. And on the state side, again, we're going out and currently have under contract to do an assessment on the state side. And so that'll add some more work to JJ's plate. Additionally, we're working on a facility force program for routine maintenance. Again, this in regard to both for the school districts and for state buildings in the future on how they expend their routine maintenance money, as well as some backup into the major maintenance so that their 680 reports can be real time adjusted. And so just the changes that we're making is taking an awful lot of JJ's programming time, and we expect that to get heavier in the future. Then again, the second position that we're looking at is basically a senior policy advisor position. And so right now, Shelby and John are doing an awful lot of work on putting out contracts. We've got an awful lot of upgrades that are coming forward that are required, some by statute, some of the things we want to modify in our standards. And so we're looking for somebody to help out in that, as well as chase these Mercers. And so that, again, they don't have to come to Shelby and John to try and stay up with all the different Mercers. The Mercers over the years here recently have increased exponentially on the number that we're currently doing and what we foresee to do in the future. So some examples of what this individual will be looking at is right now we're going through and we're updating the adequacy standards. That's required every 4 years. Attached to that, we're looking at the building design standards, and that will include a look at the transportation facilities. update on the capacity calculator. Through this Mercer study, we're the consultants, particularly MGT, looking at a number of models, and then they're kind of taking an average of how those are playing out to look at your capacity in future years. And we believe that's probably a better look to have in the future on capacity. Then we have suitability requirements based on the recent court ruling. We see a heavy lift going on there. Again, I mentioned the most cost-effective remedies, having that individual kind of oversee those particular programs. Rules and regulations updates. A lot of the things that we've talked about here earlier will be going out to rules and regulations, and so that person would again help in that aspect. Writing scopes of work for proposals and contracts, and as well as working on our contract updates in conjunction with the AG's office. And then the facility condition assessment updates and management. One of the things that we're doing there is as we move forward, as there's major maintenance work done by the school districts, and in this case, probably also some of the state work, we want to update those facility condition assessments to note that that work has been done, and that'll affect them the scoring in the future to try and provide a more real-time scoring on the facility condition assessment. So I have visited with the chief of staff for the governor's office on these positions, and we're also working with A&I on getting the position numbers to move forward and put this in the budget. Of course, it needs to go through and get the governor's blessing also, but finally, I think then through the legislative process, and so working with JAC on that to see if we can't get these 2 additional positions. Or anything on the operations side, Mr. Chairman, that you may all have or want us to try and take a look at?
I don't have any comments. I think you're right on the right track, though.
Okay, next is charter school leases. Again, a couple of years ago, that was a $4.2 million request. Of course, those will need updated. I think you'll probably see a little bit higher number there. For example, one of the things that we look at is the lease amounts. And so depending on increases in leases around the state, when we use that as a comparative number for the charter schools, ADM calculations can affect that. So again, Laura and her group are looking hard at that. You'll see a bullet under there, Mr. Chairman. It's noted as the Charter School Contingency Fund. That's a new ask that we'll be bringing to Select Committee as well as the Commission. The Select Committee meetings are dealing with charter schools, and one of the things that has changed over the years is we need to have funding available when a charter school starts up. And so there's a whole laundry list of things that when we go out, as we have done in the past, and ask for a biennial request, there's a lot of changes going on within the charter school. So again, a couple of examples there. You'll see in some cases ADM changes in the charter schools. We have charter schools that started off as a K4, and then they're adding a 5th grade and then a 6th grade. That provides more ADM count, which increases. We don't know that until it kind of sort of happens within that year. It's outside of the budget process. Changes in the block grant funding for their routine maintenance and operations can affect that budget. Again, that's something that kind of comes at the 11th hour for us to try and react to. When we have new schools coming on, again, outside of that biennium request, it used to be that the charter schools would have to operate for 3 years, and that would give us a chance to know what to budget for. Now, when they come online, we're expected that first year to provide a budget for any of those leases that may be out there. So we've done some calculations, taking the average of what we had now and looking at perhaps a couple of more schools coming online based on that average. And so right now we're expecting a request of about $1.2 million to be in that contingency fund. We would like it to be treated similar to the Land Opportunity Fund, where that money, once it's allocated, doesn't go away. And as we utilize those funds in future budgets, then we just ask for that pot to be refilled as these charter schools come online and change. So any questions on that, Mr. Chair?
Any questions? Any questions? No.
Okay, next is modular leases. We have 3 modular leases. Those are all in Laramie 1. Previously, those were $5,200. So I'm expecting those to be in about that same amount, or 52,000, excuse me. Any questions there, Mr. Chair?
Any questions? Any questions? None.
Okay, engineering and technical. This is a standard operation budget request. It's developed each biennium. And previously that was a $1.2 million ask. Again, I think you'll see an ask for that. That money doesn't go away. We kind of expend the oldest money first as we work through previous bienniums. But as I mentioned earlier, some of the things with this new position, the adequacy standards, updates in the calculator, suitability, safety, security, policy reviews, writing the scopes of work for other projects. I think there'll be a need for some additional funding in that pot. Again, we haven't settled on a dollar amount, still kind of reviewing where we think that might end up. But you'll see a request, I'm sure, under the engineering and technical again this year. Any questions?
Any questions? Any questions? None.
Okay, under the design phase, we're looking at Hobbs Elementary here in Laramie 1, and then potential funding also for East High School here in Laramie 1. Both of those in design, and then you'll see down underneath that under the construction phase, both those moving forward for construction. Hobbs Elementary, that Mercer was complete, so we have a dollar amount coming out of that Mercer. Of course, we'll want to take a look at that and adjust that for inflation and some of those things. Laramie East High, that dollar amount will come out of that Mercer that we again hope to have to the commission here fairly soon, and that'll give us some dollar amounts there. Safety and security funding is one that I'd like perhaps some feedback from the commission. We haven't asked for additional funding for many years. When I was previously director in 2015 and through 19, there was a couple of asks for security money. The legislature didn't add any more to the pot over, I think it was about 15.9 million. However, they did allow a 10% set aside out of major maintenance funds. So again, we'd like to, most of those funds out of that 15 million have been expended. There's many of the districts that have used all of their 10% major maintenance funds. We did have our safety security summit here previously, and then we also have gone out and asked the districts for some input on what they see as their priorities. Again, we're looking at that information from the districts, but right now I'm thinking we'll probably ask for a bucket of funds that then could be appropriated to the districts. And one of the options we're looking at is based on their ADM or their district size, a pro ratio of that funding to be used by the districts. Coming out, certainly, Mr. Chairman, coming out of the security summit, vestibules was certainly pointed out by bollards in front of the school vestibules. There's a number of schools that have, for example, they do have a vestibule, but they don't have anything that keeps somebody from just driving through the front doors there. So perhaps some bollards out in front of the school buildings. There's a lot of interest in funding for security updates or software programs such as the Raptor Raptor program. Those are fairly expensive. They've been around for a lot of years and it's coming due for updates to that. So again, we just have a lot of requests. It's fairly broad, just depending on the particular district. And so again, I'd like to certainly bring that to before the commission and the select committee also. The next then is component
Mr.
level.
Chairman? Director McComey, with the new legislation that came out regarding concealed carry, we're all working through, superintendents are all working through this situation and how we're going to handle that at the school level. I'm fully in favor of the safety and security funding. You talked about pushing that out based upon ADM. I don't know what your total ask is, but I guess one of the things I'd like the commission as well as the department to be cognizant of is that not all of our school buildings have a secure vestibule. And I don't know if we hold some of that safety and security money back, then prioritize that for those secure vestibules for those schools that do not have that. Just thinking out loud and a word of thought.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any other comments by the commission? Okay, the next one is component level major maintenance projects. Again, we've asked roughly, it's been about in the upper $20-30 million range. We still have districts when we look through their major maintenance accounts versus the work that we see moving forward with the through the facility condition assessment that was performed that don't have enough money within their major maintenance to attack some of these bigger, larger projects. And so again, I would offer that I think it would be prudent for the commission to consider some additional component projects. Again, looking for advice from the commission, maybe in that dollar range. Do we want to keep it similar to what we have asked for previously? I know the Joint Appropriations Committee and the legislature was, they look pretty hard at these projects. But I think they, through, when we gave our reasoning for those projects, I think they had some good support in the legislature for those component projects to make sure that the districts have some major maintenance funds to be able to tackle work that's coming up, as well as take on some of these larger projects. You may recall, Mr. Chairman, when we were up and toured project or a district in the north, they had some substantial parking lot needs. There's also, again, HVAC, electrical type of projects out there that are fairly pricey. Some roofs that we could take a look at. So again, Mr. Chairman, some thoughts from the commission on maybe the dollar amount that we should be contemplating there.
You estimated one time, I think, about 30 million, right?
That's correct. That's what that's about the range we've been setting past projects at, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, Director, can you talk a little bit more about that 30 million? Has it been adequate in the past? Is there, based upon known potential needs for that component level funding, do you feel good about that $30 million number? Do you feel like it's a little low, or, just some assurances around that, if you could, please?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, a couple of comments. So we'll go back and assess and run the numbers on that and kind of see where we're at. If you look at what we presented last year, I believe there was 15 projects represented in that, and then we had 2 that fell below that. So should some of those projects come in under budget, that we would move down that list. So I know there are additional projects out there to be looked at. We haven't run the analysis based on, where the districts are sitting right now on their major maintenance dollars versus what's out there. Mr. Chairman, you may recall, and I'll talk a little more about this, towards the end when we talk about major maintenance requests. But the legislature did provide an additional, I think it's $38 million this year for major maintenance to go out to the districts. In addition to that, our request for major maintenance projects this coming year will also be higher. I believe it was about 176 million the last biennium. We're probably looking closer to the 220 range because this last year through legislation, the legislature changed the multiplier from 2% to 2.5%. So about a 25% increase. So I think that's something we'll probably want to try and factor into our requests when we go through that. So again, I think what I would propose coming to the commission on is something in that neighborhood of 30 million. That's kind of what the legislature is seeing. It probably won't be a giant surprise to them. We probably, prior to the select committee meeting, because that falls in August when we bring it to you in the June and July, have a laundry list of projects, and we can look down through that, maybe determine where we cut that off. Is it 20 million instead of 30, or is it 40 instead of 30? Really have more of a robust discussion on the individual projects with the commission.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. If there's no more questions on that, I'll move on to demolition. One of the projects, in the previous, it was $2.6 million. This time we have the ARP Elementary, which would be abatement and demolition, and then Campbell County High School asbestos abatement. The Campbell County and the ARP, if we don't have the design work done by the consultants to bring that forward, both of those projects, as far as being built out and the demolition coming forward, could maybe wait till the next biennium. But if we have some numbers, we'd like to get that in and try and move those forward. Campbell County did have a demolition number for the high school during the last budget. And so, but we pointed out to the select committee that we didn't want to just offer up a slingshot of the amount for asbestos without having the design done through the design contract for the high school, and that we'd be moving forward with the secondary request for that. Again, ARP is kind of in the same situation. We do have a design contract stasis on board for that, and so they'll be working on that asbestos abatement and demolition numbers for us, and so hopefully we'll have a new number should we elect to move forward with demolition this year versus in the future year. Any questions there?
Mr. Chairman, Director, so in looking at the demolition and the resources associated with that, I get it that it's a best effort, but there's always unknowns. And in looking at the Tin Sleep project of having some asbestos that's buried underneath paint, etc., I guess my question or my awareness is going to be around, we've got quite a few projects coming up based upon the information that was shared previously, Little Powder, Campbell County, the old transportation building, the Tin Sleep demo that I had mentioned, etc. I just want to be cautious about the allocation there for the unknowns.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. We do have unanticipated funds that come along with those demos, so we do have that 6%. But again, I think everybody's aware asbestos is pretty expensive. You run into any of those hazardous materials, and that dollar amount can add up pretty quickly. So again, we try to make that aware to the legislature and the select committee when we come with those budget requests, and certainly try to make sure we have enough funding for those. So thank you. Unanticipated funding, again, if you look at The next item, that was 9.2 million. Now that was based on the construction projects that came out of the previous projects, previous biennium. That included the design and planning phases, the construction phases, and then, as we mentioned just a second ago, the demolition on those projects. Again, as we get the dollar amounts, we'll be filling in the blank there, but we're looking at that 6% for unanticipated. And then one of the others that we have now is major maintenance funds. Again, I talked about that a little bit earlier, so I won't elaborate any more on that. But previously, that was 176 million. If you just use that multiplier, again, we're looking at that 220 million. But it would be higher than that because your cost replacement values continue to go up. And so based on that 176 being 2 years old, I just multiplied out the 176 by that 25% increase. So it could even be north of that amount. Additionally, one of the things, and it won't be in our budget request, but could come from the legislative side of that, is in the select committee, one of the topics that we'll be talking about is major maintenance funding. I would like to broach the subject again of the increase in going from 115 to the 135 number for the excess square footage. And that would provide another pretty significant amount of funding within that major maintenance calculation. So there could be an increase there as it kind of works through the legislature if they are agreeable to making that one-time request that happened this year into the future. The argument that I heard sitting in the Joint Appropriations Committee when they made that for 1 year only was they weren't sure where the budget was going to be sitting in the future, particularly with the ongoing legislation that was happening at the time based on property tax cuts and those sort of things. I think those should be a little bit more of a known for the legislature. And so perhaps we could convince them to, again, move that increase in the excess square footage forward. And again, that would be a pretty substantial increase in additional funding on top of the 220. There was a mention, about proper funding for major maintenance, those sort of things in the latest lawsuit. And again, I think this really moves us towards where I think we should be in regards to that major maintenance funding with these increases that either are in place under statute now or perhaps could be proposed through the select committee this coming year. So any questions on major maintenance? Okay, and then we have some facilities with ongoing Mercers that we've anticipated will be done and presented to the commission by July, and these may also result in some budget requests. Those 4 projects are shown here in the underneath that. Those are Rollins Elementary, Moorcroft High School, Rendezvous Elementary, and Frontier Academy. Those last 2 both in Fremont 25 and Riverton. So we've kind of noted projects above as to what we're seeing right now for funding requests based on design construction. These could be added to that list, and of course that'll affect all of those dollar amounts, including down through the unanticipated for the 6%. So any questions, Mr. Chairman?
Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to our next tab then, which is tab F.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is to discuss Albany County School District Number 1's proposed repurposing of Vital Elementary School. I'm going to kind of hit this at a high level, and then I'm going to turn it over to the district personnel to talk more in depth on their repurposing of this facility. They would like to repurpose it into a district central office admin building. As you're aware, the commission approved this building to go into mothball status last year. The FCI score in this building in 2030 will hit a 0.29, so facility in pretty decent condition. They have previously moved all of the elementary schools out of Vital into their other elementary schools. Their current capacity at the elementary school level is 76.82%. We'll likely see that increase some with the closure of the UW Lab School. So those numbers yet to be seen. We did get a request last year from Laramie Montessori Charter School to consider if this facility was available and adequate for that charter school to move in. In the end, our decision was that it was adequate, but currently unavailable, as the district still had a lot of materials in that building, and the Board of Trustees was considering what the future use of that building was going to be. Where their current central administration building is locally, it's right there on Grand Avenue. Their parking is extremely limited, not a lot of opportunities to improve that due to some of the City of Laramie's requirements. If they get in and rework that parking lot to add some enhancements and planters and those types of things, which will further limit their parking. They have a capacity issue in their boardroom. Entry is through the alley, and they also have administrative people in the Whiting building, and so the inability of all of those administration people to be in one facility does cause them some issues just amongst the staff and making sure that everybody's on the same page. And then only one half of that building is ADA accessible. You'll see the information there on the two buildings that they're proposing to consolidate into the current Vital Elementary School, the admin building, as well as the Whiting Special Services building. You'll see some photos of those on page 18. Mr. Chairman, at your request, I did do a little research on the Whiting Special Services building. That was actually originally an elementary school, and then it was transitioned to the alternative high school in 1996. So that's a little history on that building that was built in 1936. With that, I'd like to turn it over. I believe Superintendent Goldhart and Randy Wilkinson are both online. So I'd like to turn it over to them to talk about their vision for this repurposing of Vital and kind of their plans to proceed forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Number one issue is efficiency for us. Having two buildings with our central administration employees in is difficult for a unit effort in our district and to work together and to be collaborative. The main issue with the 1948 Grand Avenue building is it's the smallness of it, and the ADA capacity is a big problem. It's designed like a split entry house where you walk in, you either go upstairs or downstairs. There is a ramp for wheelchairs, but it is really steep, and I would not suggest anyone in a wheelchair use it because I think it would be dangerous for them to use. And then they would come to a locked door, and hopefully somebody be able to hear them to answer to let them in. Several of our retired employees who come in for their insurance that they buy from us can't make it down the stairs to meet with our human resources department. It also helps us to utilize the Vital building, and so that the neighborhood there has been concerned about it, and using a building that I think, quite frankly, isn't very good for student use due to some of the asbestos and electrical issues that are there, but it's a great use for adults. I don't want to sound flippant, but children are more important and should have the best facilities. Those of us in the district office are more expendable. And so we can utilize a building like that. It's not going to be a Taj Mahal. It is going to be very basic of utilizing the classrooms and turning those into offices. We believe it's a win-win because the funds needed to do the remodel would be used from selling excess property in the school district, so no general fund would be used whatsoever for this project. The parking lot at the 1948 building is very difficult. It's full of chuck holes. The city will not let us repave that because we don't have enough parking spots. Yet there's nowhere to put any more parking spots, and that makes it very difficult for us to add any more. Randy, do you have any more information that I've forgotten?
Chairman Carter, Administrator Carlson, Dr. Goldhart, commissioners. Yeah, there's a couple of things there. A building built in 1936. We still have the original heat registers in there, things like that. There is going to be some considerable upgrades to that building coming forward. We did do some renovations to the HVAC system at Vital Elementary with COVID money as or the ESSER money as we were moving through that. So those items have been improved that will sustain the length of the use of this building. I concur with Dr. Goldhart. The trustees, Dr. Goldhart, both want to move us all into one. We are closing the two buildings, but we also have myself and another administrator, our technology, also in different places. So we're consolidating out of 4 buildings, but getting rid of 2 buildings. And I just thank you for considering this and looking at what we're doing to save the state of Wyoming money and also help our district out.
Any questions
Right.
for Randy or John?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Scott?
Yes, I have a question for the district. So as I understand, the Grand Avenue facility or facilities, their future plans would be to, I guess, leave those, move to the new facility, but would they dispose of those properties on Grand, and what the timeline would be?
Yes, the intent would be to dispose of the Grand Avenue property and the 9th Street property. And then what the timeline would be is when the Vital building is completed with the basic remodel, we would all move into the new Vital facility as the central office. Then we would dispose of those 2 properties and sell them so they could be utilized for building use.
Okay, so it'd be a sale of those, because we're seeing on here some other disposition requests later on, and I'm just kind of my personal opinion, the sooner we can get properties into private hands, individuals, and I would think they're on Grand, that would be probably a pretty good piece of real estate for redevelopment for somebody to come in. The sooner that could happen to get on the tax rolls, I would advocate for that.
Yeah, absolutely. We agree with you. Being close to the University of Wyoming and also UniWyo Credit Union is always looking for additional space. I think there'll be high interest.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any further questions? Okay, seeing none, we are now done with our information items. We will go to our consent items. The first item is the previous meeting minutes. I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move the School Facilities Commission approve the School Construction Department's recommendation as indicated.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded by Bruce. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Any additions or corrections to the minutes? Since you're ready to vote for the approval of the minutes, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say aye. The meeting minutes from the previous meeting have been approved. The next item is tab 2. It's funding transfer, transactions, and financial reports by Laura Anderson.
Mr. Chairman, we'll start off as we always do with
a reconciling or a reporting of the summary of the unanticipated reports. The 17-18 count still sits at just under 1.2 million. 21-22 sits at exactly $1 million. The 23-24 account sits at just under 2.4 million. And there was a change to the 25-26 unanticipated cap fund account. As you'll see, we received funds from the supplement or from the supplemental budget at $11,711,428, bringing that total balance to $22,114,064. The Land Opportunity Fund still sits at $713,500. The Emergency Fund sits at just over $4 million. The Planning Fund is at just over a hair over $3.5 million. And the Inflationary Fund is still sitting at just under $13.4 million for an uncommitted balance. Moving along, Mr. Chairman, we'll then go through your financial reports. As always, we start off with the the executive summary report, which combines the operations, major maintenance, and capital construction together. And I always draw your attention to the amount of appropriations that the commission has received since its inception is $4.8 billion that the state has put into schools through this body. Moving along to the next page, this is where we separate out those sections. This is the operations appropriation summary report. I draw your attention to column D. You'll see that the expenditures for the month were around $223,000. That's fairly normal. For this time of year, there's nothing unusual about that one at all. Moving along to the next page is the major maintenance appropriation summary report. I draw your attention here to column D, where you can see that we've distributed about 64 million so far this biennium to the districts. The district expenditure amount that you see in column E, that is as of last July 1st, because we're rounding the horn again where they're going to be reporting their expenditures, which are due July 1st of this year. Moving along then to the next page, which is page 28 of your book, is the capital construction appropriation summary report. What I look for here is to ensure that the column F, that we're generally always going down, we're getting that money out the door and onto the projects, which we do regularly. Then moving along to the next page, this is the transaction summary report. And here I draw your attention to column B, generally speaking, where we usually have money just moving from the budgeted up to the awarded. And that's usually a positive and a negative number. You see this is a little different this time. That's because we received an additional $76,017,368 in supplemental appropriations. And then we had another $461,100 that moved from the budgeted to the awarded. So that was the balance. There is that 75 million that you see on that column that moved up there. The details of those transactions are on page 34 to 41 of your packet. Moving along to the next pages, we kind of lump those together. That's pages 30 through 33, which are the details of all the anticipated transactions and reports that we went through at the very beginning of my reporting. And then we're down to pages 34 to 31, which are the details from the transactions and that we just talked about. And then the last section is page 42 through 56, which is the appropriation by district and facility. Are there any commissions or any questions I can answer for the commission today?
I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Any additions or corrections? Any additions or corrections? Since you're ready to vote, all
That's
those
fine.
in favor of approving our funding transfer and transaction and financial reports, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. Okay, we will now move into an executive session, which will necessitate taking off the people out in the they're on there as a guest. And when we get done with the executive session, we'll take about a 10-minute break while we bring everybody back on. And if anybody has any personal items they want to take care of, we can do it at that time. So
Mr. Chairman, I move that the School Facilities Commission go into executive session for the purpose of receiving confidential legal and land advice.
I need a second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of moving into executive session, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please same sign. So moved. We will now move into executive session.
I don't know where the users are.
Tabitha.
Yeah, Devin's there. Just give us a few minutes. Just give us a few minutes, Chairman.
Yep.
We'll let you know when we're ready.
Are we gonna take a break now or at the end?
We can take a break now if you'd like.
Let's take a 10-minute break. We will reconvene at 10:23.
I'll be all right. Who all needs to be in the executive session?
Just the commissioners. You want me to start moving people?
No,
Okay.
leave them there.
Just the commissioners, Tabitha and Devin.
I think that's, work my mouse for me. Just pick them.
I'm right there with you.
All right, I don't know what that.
That's okay.
I understand. It's all good though. I mean, it's gonna be good. Even if we have to get them on the phone.
You know, it's.
Never got it.
Let's sit here and just sweat.
You like an iced tea or something?
All right.
Do I open all rooms? Or add a room?
Say again,
Live mic.
with the commissioners.
We're not there yet. We're still working on it.
Oh, and.
I thought we kicked everyone else out.
No, it's on.
Chairman, we're ready whenever you are.
Okay, let's take a quick roll call, make sure everybody's back on, please.
Okay. Commissioner Coughlin,
Present.
Commissioner Ferentz,
Present.
Commissioner Kashelhofer,
Present.
Commissioner Thayer,
Present.
Commissioner Thorne.
Present.
Oh, did I get Commissioner Thayer?
Present.
Okay. Commissioner Van Mark,
Here.
Trent Carroll,
Present.
and Chairman Tartar.
Present. Okay, at this time, I would ask Mr. Rexus to go over his executive session action and with the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a recommendation here for you for Crook County School District 1. The State Construction Department recommends the School Facilities Commission approve Crook County School District 1's request to proceed with land acquisition in accordance with Chapter 9, Section 6 of the SSD Rules and Regulations.
Discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I did notice that Randy Gill with the Crook County School District was on as well.
Okay. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that the commission approve the state construction department's recommendation as indicated.
I would entertain a second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. 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 Sensing you're ready to vote, all those in favor of approving the motion, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign.
Yes, aye. Scott Thayer.
Any other?
Mr. Chairman, I recuse myself from the vote.
Okay,
Thank you.
we have one recusal and one no. The motion is approved. Next item we have is tab 4. By
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
Rex.
Chairman. This is a request from Commerce County School District number 1 for unanticipated funding on the Douglas High School HVAC replacement project. Commerce County School District 1 high school replacement HVAC replacement project consists of 2 phases utilizing 3 separate appropriations. The 2020 budget session, the 2022 budget session, and the most recent supplemental appropriation that came just a couple of months ago in the 25 general session. During contract negotiations for phase 2, bid alternate was identified as a cost saving measure for 2 alternates since their estimate was exceeding their budget. After we opened bids, we had to reject that alternate because we just didn't have enough money in the project, and we had some discussion with the district. These 2 air handlers originally were supposed to be a part of the project. It wasn't any add-on or gold plating or scope creep. So we told the district that we would come back and make a supplemental request at that time to see if we could get funding to install those 2 air handlers. When we got towards the end of phase 2, we realized that we had enough money left in the project to actually purchase the air handlers or the equipment rather. And so we decided that it would be prudent to do that, especially considering the long lead times for that type of equipment as current environment. So we went ahead and purchased those. We got those on order, and we thought what we had, what we proposed as the labor costs for installing those 2 air handlers that we put forward in the last budget request. But We didn't have a very good breakdown between labor and materials, and we had some tight timelines to get the budget request in. And there was some miscommunication, and we ended up actually making a request that was short of what was actually necessary. The contractor's current proposed cost for putting those air handlers in, when added to the cost of the air handlers themselves, is pretty much in line with what the proposal was for that alternate when phase 2 was bid. So it hasn't gone down or up, it stayed the same the whole time, and it was simply more of a miscommunication on what the labor was and the cost breakdown for that. So I went in and took the actual anticipated hard bid from the previous budget request, and I subtracted that from what the actual quote is from the contractor for the labor to install the units. And the amount that we're short is $213,800. That would help make the project whole, so that all the soft costs for construction administration and testing and inspections could be covered by the project as well. And that would help us from dipping into the district's already depleted major maintenance account, which had an ending balance of $377,744 as of July 1st, 2024. The action item for today is to consider Conference County School District 1's request for the School Facility Commission to authorize up to $213,800 from the School Facility Commission's 2021-22 and 2023-24 unanticipated fund appropriations to be moved into the Douglas High School HVAC replacement project. The district's portion for those 2 years of the 6% unanticipated at this point in time is roughly $275,000. So we're staying well below that threshold. And the other thing that I would mention is the way that we're structuring this is we're asking for an amount not to exceed. So we can only pull funds from unanticipated up to that amount as we need it on the project, so we don't end up with excess funds that need to then be reverted. So we won't pull any more than we have to have for the project, and we'll pull it as we need it up to the amount that we're asking the commission to approve. And the recommendation is the State Construction Department recommends the School Facility Commission approve the transfer funds from the 21, 22, and 23-24 unanticipated accounts in an amount up to $213,800 for the Douglas High School HVAC replacement project in Converse County School District number 1. With that being said, I'll open up the floor for any questions you may have.
Any questions? I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move the School Facilities Commission approve the State Construction Department's recommendation or recommended motion as written.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Discussion? Discussion. Since you're ready to vote, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Any of those opposed, same sign. The motion is approved. We now go to tab 5, Sublette County School District number 1 request for unanticipated funding for the school district campus electrical service upgrade. Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This one gets a little complicated, so I'm going to open the door right now for anybody to interject with any questions they may have as we're going through it. But I'm going to start with the background. Sublette County School District 1 started a 2-phase electrical service upgrade project using their own funds due to the urgency of the district's need and the timing of receiving any legislative appropriation. The phase 1 bid came in at $494,191, of which the district paid $213,339.40. And the SFD share was to be $274,851.60. The legislature appropriated Suffolk County School District 1 component funding for phase 1 in the amount of $1,814,416. And I'm going to come back to that amount in a minute with some more confidence, which covered the state's phase 1 construction share, the Rocky Mountain power fee, and design costs, and still left a balance of $1,141,963.40, which was moved over to phase 2 when added to the previously allotted funds of $1,106,287. Combined together make for a new phase 2 total budget of $2,248,250.40. The electrical contractor on phase 1 filed for bankruptcy and did not complete all the work for phase 1. That unfinished work was added to the phase 2 scope of work and had its own bid line, separate the costs from the rest of the phase 2 work. The SFD's contracted share of phase 1 funds in the amount of $274,851.66 are currently unavailable, but they remain in state coffers because they are tied up in the bankruptcy. The project's total share of unanticipated funds, 6% of 2 different appropriations, is currently calculated at $175,242.60. With the requested unanticipated funds, the total available to the district would be $2,423,493. So a couple of things that you'll notice if you look at the project cost breakdown just below the background, you'll see that what we're projecting as a deficiency is $156,549.60. However, that just covers what the deficiency is on the contract with the available balance that's available to the district through the state. So that doesn't leave them with any other money for any of the other soft costs on the project. That's why we bumped the ask up to the maximum amount available for this particular project share of the 6% unanticipated to help cover some of those additional costs, such as testing and inspection, owner's overhead, any other additional soft costs that might be needed on the project. So while I still think that that amount is going to be somewhat insufficient to cover all the costs, the intent behind the component level funding is that it's supplementing major maintenance. So I believe the district's on board with anything above that amount coming out of their major maintenance account. It's just that there are so many projects remaining to be bid within that particular unanticipated account. We don't feel comfortable exceeding this particular project share at this point in time. This is somewhat of a preemptive request. Again, it's an amount not to exceed or an amount up to that we would spoon feed out as necessary, but we have crafted the proposed motion in a way that would allow for us to return those funds should the bankruptcy proceedings show that we don't need those funds back to the unanticipated cost. The action item today is to consider Suffolk County School District 1's request for the School Facility Commission to authorize up to $175,242.60 from the School Facility Commission's 25-26 unanticipated funds appropriation to be moved on to Suffolk County School District 1's campus electrical service upgrade phase 2 project. I have included all statutory and rule references. The potential results are that if the School Facility Commission approves Suffolk County School District 1's request, the district will have sufficient funds in the project budget to move forward with the campus electrical service upgrade pending approval from the bonding agency and the phase two project at this time. If this request is, if the School Facilities Commission does not approve the request, Sutherland County may not be able to complete the campus electrical service upgrade phase two project timely or adequately. And the current recommendation is that the State Construction Department recommends School Facility Commission approve Sutherland County School District 1's request to authorize expenditure of an amount not to exceed $175,242.60 from the School Facility Commission's 25-26 unanticipated funds appropriation for the campus electrical service upgrade phase two project. The project funds remain upon settlement of the bankruptcy and completion of the work. An equal amount of funds shall be returned to the 25-26 unanticipated funds account. With that being said, I'll open the floor for any questions.
Questions? Questions? I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I do have one question for John.
Yes.
If this funding is approved, what is the timeline for getting the work completed?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Ferentz, I haven't seen the actual project schedule, but I would tell you that we opened bids, I want to say about 10 days ago, which should leave us about 35 days to work with the bonding agency to see whether or not they'll approve the phase two contractor completing the phase one scope of work. And then I believe the intent is to have most of this in place by the end of this summer, but I think some of that will spill into next year as well. But again, I haven't seen the actual schedule that was presented by this contractor in their bid.
Okay, thank you.
And some of that's going to be depicted by the bonding agency as well.
Any further questions? Any further
Mr.
questions?
Rexius, can you, obviously, I understand that time is of the essence, getting this work completed while there's not kids in the school building. Could you expand upon a little bit about what this electrical service upgrade is? Is it interior to the building, service within the building? Would it disrupt children's learning if this continued on past the end of August?
Mr. Chairman, Vice Chairman Warren, thank you for the question. The scope of work for this project is what I would like to refer to as a medium voltage distribution project. So essentially what it consists of are your electrical power lines that are feeding the building, the switch gear for those power lines, and the transformers for those power lines. That's the main scope of services here. Recently, for construction management, I completed a project similar to this for Western Wyoming Community College. And most of it's exterior to the building. There may be some switchgear inside the building. Not overly familiar with Pinedale and Sutherland one, but.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, in talking to the district about this when we were working through the funding for both phase one and phase two, part of the reason the district is doing this is because they're at the end of the power grid. And so they get a lot of brownouts and blackouts with it being unstable. And so what they're trying to do is if they go through and do these upgrades, then I believe it's the PPNL or Rocky Mountain will take that onto their system and that'll provide a better power for the district in going through and doing this. So your question, Commissioner there, or not there, but the Commissioner was the school district being able to operate. They are impacted right now with the current system they have. So their hope is this will give them a more secure power source.
Thank you.
Further questions? Further questions? Further questions? Since you're ready to vote on the motion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Do we have a motion?
Motion.
We don't.
Yeah, I guess we better make a motion, huh? I just noticed I left that off. I entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Schools Facilities Commission approve the State Construction Department's recommended motion as read.
I need a second.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. The motion is approved. The next item we have is tab 6. Albany County School District number 1, Rock River, Old District Property number 5 disposition. John Rexis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is one of the few property dispositions we have for Albany County today. They're cleaning up, I think, some of their excess properties. Albany County School District 1 is requesting commission approval for the disposition of a rural parcel of property referenced as the Rock River Old District Property number 5. I believe that when there was still an Albany County School District number 5, this piece of property was either sold or given to them. And as districts were consolidated, it then became Albany County School District 1's property. The deed for the parcel was originally granted to Albany County School District 5 in 1913. And the 1 acre tract is vacant, remote, only accessible by 2 track roads, and it's surrounded by privately owned land. It's approximately 6.6 miles northeast of Rock River in a straight line. The district recommended to their board of trustees to dispose of the property, and their board of trustees held a public hearing on March 12th to approve that disposition. It currently is not included in Albany County School District 1's facility plan. The action item is to determine whether the disposition of Albany County School District 1 property in Rock River, reference to Rock River Old District Property number 5, protects the financial interests of the state or is not otherwise in the public interest. I've included the references to statute. And the potential results are that with the School Facility Commission's approval, Albany County School District 1 will dispose of the reference parcel in Albany County. If the School Facility Commission declines to approve disposition, Albany County School District 1 will retain ownership. And the recommendation is that the State Construction Department recommends that the School Facility Commission approve Albany County School District 1's request to dispose of the Rock River Old District Property number 5 as being in the best financial interest of the state public, pending modification to the district's facility plan, with the understanding that any costs and revenues incurred by the disposition of the property shall be accounted for in the facility plan and considered in any building or facility remedy for that district. Any questions?
Any questions? Any questions? I need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move the commission approve the department's recommendation as indicated.
I need a second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Since you're ready to vote, all those in favor of approving the motion, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please same sign. The motion is approved. We now go to tab 7 with Mr. Rexis. It's Albany County School District number 1, Laramie River, disposition of property. John Rexis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Albany County School District 1 is requesting commission approval for the disposition of a rural parcel of property referenced as the Laramie River property. The deed for the parcel was originally granted to Albany County School District 10 in 1920 before the consolidation of the numerous Albany County school districts into Albany County School District 1. The 1.06 acre tract is vacant, remote, surrounded by privately owned land, and is approximately 2.3 miles southeast in a straight line from Albany County School District 1's Harmony Elementary School, located off of Wyoming Highway 230. For those of you who are trying to visualize where that is, about 2/3 of the way between Laramie and Woods Landing on the south side of Highway 230. The district recommended to the Board of Trustees to dispose of the property, and the Albany County School District 1 Board of Trustees held a public hearing on March 12, 2025 and approved disposition. Disposition of the property was not included in Albany County 1's school current facility plan, and the action item is to determine whether the disposition of this property references the Laramie River property protects the financial interests of the state or is not otherwise in a public interest. Statutory references follow, and the potential results are, with the School Facility Commission's approval, Albany County School District 1 will dispose of the reference parcel in Albany County. If not approved, Albany County School District 1 will maintain ownership of the property. The recommendation is the State Construction Department recommends that the School Facility Commission approve Albany County School District 1's request to dispose of the Laramie River property as being in the best financial interest of the state public, pending modification to the district's facility plan, with the understanding that any costs and revenues incurred by the disposition of the property shall be accounted for in that facility plan and considered in any building or facility remedy for the district. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I move the commission approve the State Construction Department's recommendation as indicated.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Since you're ready to vote, then all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. The motion is approved. The next item is tab 8. Albany County School District number 1 disposition of Harmony ES Elementary School teacherage by Mr. Exis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Albany County School District 1 sent a letter on March 24th of 25 to the School Facilities Commission disclosing their intent to dispose of the Harmony Elementary School teacherage and requesting commission approval for the disposition. For the district, the property would be advertised for sealed bids and the building would need to be moved, with the property remediated as a part of the agreement at the buyer's expense. The teacherage was built in 1935 and is 2,500 square feet. It sits on Albany County School District 1 home land near Harmony Elementary School off Wyoming Highway 230. Disposition of the teacherage classroom was included in Albany County School District 1's facility plan. During the facility plan meeting, the district noted that the teacherage has not been used in 15 years and is in disrepair. The Albany County School District 1 Board of Trustees held a public hearing on March 12, 2025 and approved disposition of the property. The action item is to determine whether the disposition of this property in Albany County references the Harmony ES teacherage protects the final interests of the state or is not otherwise in the public interest. Same statutory reference and the potential results are, with the School Facility Commission's approval, Albany County School District 1 will dispose of the Harmony ES teacherage. If the School Facility Commission declines to approve disposition, Albany County School District 1 will continue to maintain the building with 10% major maintenance funds. The State Construction Department recommendation is that the School Facility Commission approve Albany County School District 1's request to dispose of the Harmony Elementary School teacherage as being in the best financial interest of the state public, with the understanding that any costs and revenues incurred by the disposition of the building shall be accounted for in a district's facility plan and considered in any building or facility remedy for the district, including any required remediation of the site.
I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move the commission approve state construction department's recommendation as indicated.
Thank you. I need a second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion. 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 Since you're ready to vote, all those in favor of approving the motion, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. So moved. We now go to tab 9. Albany County School District number 1, North 15th Street property disposition by John Rexis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Albany County School District 1 is requesting disposition approval for a parcel of property in Laramie referenced as the North 15th Street site. Albany County School District 1 bought the land in June of 1978, and they are currently in the process of having the property appraised. After the appraisal, the school district intends to dispose of the property through either a sealed bid process or by listing with a real estate broker. A 16.26 acre tract is undeveloped and located on the northern edge of the city of Laramie. It's not very far as the crow flies from the new Slade Elementary School. I want to say roughly 8 blocks as the crow flies. The district recommended to the Albany County School District Board of Trustees to dispose of the property. A public hearing was held on March 12, 2025, followed by the board voting to approve disposal of the property. The current capacity percentage for Albany County School District 1 elementary schools is 76.82%. However, that may change with the closing of the last school. This site is within close proximity to the new Slade Elementary School, like I mentioned before. And a site has already been purchased and designated for a future middle school. The district has a new high school, so they really don't have any other needs in that regard. And there are land acquisition funds available from the 2015 general session in the amount of $750,000 for purchasing property to address facility needs specifically for this district. Disposition of the property is not included in the Albany County School District 1's facility plan. And the action item today is to determine whether the disposition of this property in Albany County referenced as North 15th Street site protects the financial interests of the state or is not otherwise in the public interest. Potential results are that if this item is approved, Albany County School District 1 will dispose of the referenced parcel in the city of Laramie. If not approved, Albany County School District 1 will maintain ownership of the property. The State Construction Department recommends that the School Facility Commission approve Albany County School District 1's request to dispose of the North 15th Street site as being in the best financial interests of the state public, any modification to the district's facility plan, and with the understanding that any costs and revenues incurred by the disposition of the property shall be accounted for in the district's facility plan and considered in any building or facility remedy for that district. Any questions?
Any questions? Any questions? I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the commission approve the state construction department's recommendation as written.
I need a second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion. 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 Since you're ready to vote, all those in favor of approving the motion, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. The motion is approved. We now go to tab 10, which is Albany County School District number 1, disposition of old Slade Elementary School property.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we finally reached the last one here. Albany County School District 1 is requesting School Facility Commission approval for the disposition of the property where the old Slade Elementary School is located, as noted in the 23 and 24 facility plan meetings for the district. The School Facility Commission previously approved demolition of the old Slade Elementary School during a special meeting in August of 2023, and the legislature appropriated funding for the demolition during the 24 budget session. A Abatement and demolition bids are currently under evaluation by the design consultant and Albany County School District 1. The Albany County School District 1 Board of Trustees approved disposition of the property after demolition is completed on March 12, 2025. The current capacity percentage for Albany County School District 1 elementary schools is 76.82, without counting the seats available in Bible Elementary School. With projected enrollments trending down and with a new elementary school in close proximity, it is unlikely the property will be needed in the future to address elementary school capacity needs or issues. Albany County School District 1 has already purchased and designated a new site for a future middle school, and the district has a newer high school that is not in need of replacement. In addition, the School Facility Commission has land acquisition funds available from the 2015 general session in the amount of $750,000 for purchasing property to address facility needs specifically for this district. The action item today is to determine whether the disposition of the old Slade Elementary School property in Laramie protects the financial interests of the state as otherwise in the public interest. The potential results are, with the School Facility Commission's approval, Albany County School District 1 will dispose of the property once the old Slade Elementary School is demolished. If the School Facility Commission declines to approve disposition, Albany County School District 1 will retain ownership of the property. And the recommendation is that the State Construction Department recommends that the School Facilities Commission approve Albany County School District 1's request to dispose of the old Slade Elementary School site as being in the best financial interests of the state and the public, and with the understanding that any costs and revenues incurred by the disposition of the property shall be accounted for in the district's facility plan and considered in any building or facility remedy for the district. Any questions?
Any questions? Any questions? I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I move the commission approve the department's recommendation as indicated.
Second.
I'd entertain a second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion. 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 All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. The motion is approved. The next item on the agenda is public comments, and I have invited Campbell County School District to address us for a period of no more than 10 minutes. And I see Dave and Sean there.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for allowing Campbell County to address the commission today. As said, I'm Dave Bartlett, the Associate Superintendent for Campbell County School District, and with me here today, I've got Sean Mathis, Supervisor of Facility and Grounds. I've got three items I'd like to touch base on briefly, and understand that we're just here for public comment. First of all, I do appreciate Ms. Carlson's update for the Mercer studies. I had a concern initially that the Conestoga Mercer had not been mentioned in her report, but I appreciate that Director McComey did mention that it will be completed after Teton's wrapped up. Just to share concerns, our initial kickoff meeting was 14 months ago, March of 24. This is a small project, about a $6.5 million renovation. It was funded in the 24 legislative session. We were hoping to again work this summer. So currently we've lost a couple summers worth of time and inflation. At one point we understood that September the department did have a draft and potentially they weren't happy with it. We did have a structural study conducted, and we did share that with them last November. So again, happy to know that it's coming up, and we're ready to get started on that and have a positive impact for the kids in that building. Campbell County High School replacement project, just to share with the commission, we have begun the visioning process with that project. We have had some of our key staff members visit some schools on the Front Range and around Wyoming. Felt like it was important to see some of the work that the commission and the department have approved through the existing guidelines to let that staff know what is on the horizon for us. We are currently waiting on confirmation for some contract language to be verified by the department. If you recall, option 2B was approved through the Mercer process. And I know that Mr. Rexis and the department has some concerns with soil conditions, some groundwater, and the potential for some foundation requirements. As such, the wording that we're concerned about appears to be limiting to the district, in that it's directing the district that if a specific deep foundation were required, we would be forced to look at an alternative site. So we've talked with our design team. They also have concerns with the contract language identifying a foundation type until after they've had a site plan developed and a building footprint that can designate where it would specifically go. So I would tell you, additionally, the district's reached out. We've reached out to several contractors that have extensive building experience in this region. And it's been shared with us that there are numerous alternatives that would not severely impact the budget if we had soil conditions or water constraints. I would also point out we are just completing a pool project here that's a district project where we have run into some groundwater, and one of our local contractors has helped us mitigate that without a large expense to the project. So the language of the department has suggested that if a deep foundation is needed, we move to consider option 2C. The district has concerns with that for a couple of reasons. 2C was discussed at length during the Mercer process prior to selecting option 2B. And 2C really does pose numerous educational and ADA impacts for the school. Of note, this would displace a 5-year-old turf athletic facility that is a $4.5 million enhancement. It would create a 1/3 of a mile walking distance between the Career Tech Ed building and the main building. In walking that, it's would not fit into the current passing periods that the building schedule has. It would increase costs for utilities, an estimated amount of $900,000 moving from 12th Street further up the hill. And it will pose several conflicts between pedestrian and vehicle traffic as cars coming in off of onto Camel Drive are going to cross paths with our students that are walking down to the G building. So recently we did send a letter to the department, and Chairman, we've carboned you, that provides some suggested language. I do think that it meets both the interests of the department and the district. We understand budget constraints, and we're committed to staying within that. But we are hopeful that we can get the contract language agreed upon, so we get the design team on board and get them moving forward so we can meet our rather aggressive timeline. And then finally, our transportation replacement project. And again, Mr. Chair, I know this is the one that I had sent you a letter of request. Just to give you a little background here, we did get our 10% schematic estimate back, and it came in at $19.8 million. In working through the VE process to hit the department's budget, we would need to cut 4 bays of the 9 bays that are called for. We would have to delete all 3 wash bays and do away with all paving and concrete. And I do have serious concerns about a gravel lot for 175 buses to be moving in and out. Just history on the budget. In August of 23, the former director had requested from the district a cost for a conceptual building, which we did provide. That cost came in at $528 a square foot. That was only for the building, no site. October of 23, the commission approved a Mercer for a total budget of $17.5 million and a square foot cost of $500. November 24 supplemental request went forward at $390 a square foot. And again, our 10% schematic design that came in this past March came in at $707 a square foot. That's for a fleet of 175 buses and approximately 50 white vehicles or support vehicles. And I just point out that's converse to earlier today you talked on the Teton transportation project, which is out on the street. That's for a fleet of 47 buses, and that has a budget of about $17.5 million, which comes in about a little over $850 a square foot. So I've got some asks here, if you would. We would ask that the current estimate be recognized as the target budget, or that perhaps a third-party estimator be commissioned to develop a project estimate for a large transportation facility of this configuration. We understand that one has not been built in the history of the program, and I feel like we may be reaching for things. So we would ask that one of those two things happen. We would ask that the commission recognize that figure as the budget, and that would allow us to move forward with design, to design a project that meets the guidelines. The district understands that the addition to the construction budget would need legislative appropriations in the upcoming budget. But again, these actions will allow us to keep moving forward and design a building that meets your current guidelines. So with that, Mr. Chair and Commission, I appreciate the opportunity to address you all today, and I thank you for your time and consideration. And I'd be happy either for myself or Mr. Mathis to answer any questions you may have of us.
Okay. Does the commission have any questions, or would we be better served if the letter you had, I think you sent it to the School Facilities Commission anyway, division, answer it, and then we act on it at our next meeting, which will be in Pinedale in about a month. Maybe they could answer some of your questions earlier, but I think that's what we'll do. We just, all the commission now is aware of your concerns and the square foot dollars and that. Also, have you done the geotech stuff, or is it being done?
Mr. Chair, yes, we have commissioned the geotech for transportation. We did a preliminary geotech on Campbell County High School, and we do have geotech from when the soccer field was put in place, and those have been shared with the department. I also received word that we were given the blessing to move toward 35% on transportation and then do the VE process there. I am currently waiting to get some kind of written confirmation from the department, and if that's the case, then at the very least we can continue to move forward based on the design guidelines.
I am aware of that, and I think they're working on that language right now. So, yeah. So, okay. Any questions? Well, thank you. Whoops, your time's up.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Are there any further
Mr.
public comments? Any further public comments? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's been moved. I need a second.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Everybody, thank you for a wonderful meeting. Good input. We're a super commission, guys. So